Tommy and I are at Manassas Park High School to deliver Virginia Lottery, Scratchers, and Georgetown cupcakes to librarian Barbuzza. She's done amazing stuff to keep the kids educated and get books and reading materials in their hands during this crazy time. We're so excited to go meet her.
One really great thing I get to do is every Monday, we have 2 vans that has MPCS on the side. We have a big bookmobile sign we put up, and we load it up with books. We load it up with the holds that the kids have placed in the days before, and we load up with books that we think they might be interested in. So we get print books into these kids' hands regardless, whether they have a ride to school to pick it up or not, because that is really a passion of ours.
So self-care these days is really important to her. She worked long and hard to become a yoga instructor certified, and she's been sharing those lessons with us and encouraging us to take time for ourselves. I'm really thrilled that you guys selected her because I think she very, very much deserves to be recognized.
The Virginia Lottery, of course, has been supportive of K-12 education since forever. But we've got all the Scratchers, we've got Georgetown cupcakes, we have hand sanitizer from the Farmers Restaurant Group, some gourmet chocolates, and hopefully you'll win big and you'll win all the money with all these Scratchers.
And we also have another little surprise for you. It's a video message from somebody.
That the librarian, that is the national librarian lady.
The Librarian of Congress,
Yes.
Dr. Carla Hayden.
Yeah.
When we're able to safely welcome guests back to the library, I'd love to have you for a special tour as my guest.
What a great gift. Thank you so much.
Are you crying a little bit?
A little bit.
Oh, I thought it was just me. Perfect.
I didn't know that, people felt as strongly as they did. It makes me happy. It makes me feel satisfied. I'm doing my job.
Congratulations, Miss Barbuzza, on being another awesome educator in our Tommy and Kelly show teacher tour. It was so much fun to go out to Manassas Park.
Yes, it is. We've gone out there a couple times over our 10 years of doing the teacher tour. And it was every time we go out there, we learn something new and amazing about the school and the teachers and the educators. It is really weird, though. I got to be honest, when we do these tours, like there's no, and I'm not a hugger, but there is no hugging. And you have this moment with this person in this kind of very intimate setting because we can't gather. And you can't, do the human nature of like hugging them or touching them or giving them a high five or whatever.
I would have thought you'd be living your best life in this scenario, Kelly.
And in a lot of ways I am. But it is really cool to see that and see what she's doing with getting books into kids' hands, even though they're not at school.
Plus, she's like, yeah, the way they did it to be contactless, which was really cool. They took the books and they created a QR code like you're seeing everywhere now these days to scan with your phone. And the QR code links to reviews of the books because they were figuring like as a library, very tactile experience, right? You're touching the books, you're looking at them, you're putting them down, you're passing them around. They couldn't do that. So she's like, how do we make it so these kids can learn about these books and like decide what they want to read without having them being all passed around? So that was such a fun hack that they have literally QR codes stuck all over the Manassas Park van and people are scanning at a distance and deciding which one they want to get their hands on.
Amazing. Once again, I don't know why we're surprised, right? Like, but we see these stories and we read the nominations, and while they're incredible and they tell a incredible story, it's not till you actually go and talk to them that you learn like 17 other things that they're also doing. Absolutely.
Well, like a yoga instructor too, right? So she's been helping the teachers and the faculty like kind of have those moments to calm down, which we did yesterday. Our pal Patricia is a yoga instructor. So like that has such great benefits too. And just working so hard every day. Manassas Park too is such a special school district. It's its own school district. It's not tied to Prince William or Loudoun or Fairfax or any like the big counties. It's its own deal. And the middle school's right there. And what's really fun when you go to Manassas Park and you turn on the road, there's cougar prints on the way up, like on the street. There's cougar tracks painted on the street. So you know you're like on your way to a very special place as you're making your way up there.
Yeah, and it is worth noting Manassas Park for a couple weeks has had students in the schools, particularly their special needs students, and English as a second language. So they've been at it and figuring out the best practices so they can get everyone back on campus.
And a big thanks to Dr. Carla Hayden from the Library of Congress. She is the Librarian of Congress, confirmed by the Senate. When we were telling you we had a guest as part of our surprises who was confirmed by the Senate, it was Dr. Carla Hayden, who was confirmed a few years back by a large majority in the Senate.
Well, she's a delightful woman.
She's amazing. The Library of Congress is such a wonderful resource that we have in this country. And also she and her team there, since she took over a few years back, have been digitizing millions and millions of pieces of American history that you can check out. There's videos, there are educational programs. They're doing some really cool stuff at the Library of Congress. So it would only make sense that the coolest librarian of Congress ever would love to shout out another cool librarian. And I'm absolutely showing up when Librarian Barbuzza comes down to the Library of Congress for her tour.
Are you sure you're invited?
Well, I figure it'll probably be at a time when we have like time access to it. So I'm going to like try to figure out when it is and just kind of be there. Right.
Okay.
And just be like, oh, you go here? That's so weird. I just happen to be hanging out at the Library of Congress too. Librarian Barbuzza. Plus, she's got that special tour from Dr. Carla Hayden and the docents. The docents there are amazing. They're volunteer, most of them, and they care so much about getting these treasures into people's hands or in front of them. And I feel like if she's got the Librarian of Congress's blessing, she can maybe go the whole National Treasure route and try to see if she can get her hands on the Book of Secrets.
That's a fictional movie, right?
But what if it's not? Just saying, I'd rather be wrong.
Well, this is not helping you getting invited for the tour.
You're probably right about that. So if there is a teacher that you still want to nominate, Kelly and I are looking for awesome teachers. They are not hard to find, but we need you to tell us about them. TommyandKelly.com/teachers is where you can get signed up. You can tell us about those amazing teachers. And we're making our way all around the Commonwealth to thank them, to celebrate them, and come up with some great surprises from the Virginia Lottery, from Georgetown Cupcake, and from Farmers Restaurant Group. And who knows what else? Who knows what else is going to happen? We are also going to be next week bringing you some great teachers that have a really fun lunch bunch via Zoom that is keeping friends together who are now separated by the pandemic, but also school districts. So we're going to hear his story. And then there's a family of teachers. She and her husband are both teachers, and they have been going above and beyond to help Title I students get access to something that many of us probably didn't think they needed access to. Like, it didn't even register. Like, everyone's thinking internet and supplies and all those things. But there's one very important thing that they saw a need, and they've been filling in a huge way in Prince William County. So we're going to do that next week. I'm so excited.
Good stuff.
A big thanks to everyone who's gotten involved in Tommy and Kelly's teacher tour. Go to TommyandKelly.com/teachers. We want to hear about that awesome educator in your family's life. Be empowered and save 20% versus Lyft and Uber. Support local drivers by booking your next ride through Empower, an alternative to Uber and Lyft, where drivers keep 100% of the fare and are treated with respect. With Empower, you can favorite drivers you like and request them again on demand. Oh, and if you download now, you'll get $10 off each of your first 2 rides. Empower, your ride, your way. Download Empower free now in the App Store and Google Play. Just search Ride Empower.